What would happen if Washington played Alabama? That one really intrigues me, right? I mean, just throw that out there. Just two teams from opposite ends of the country, different contrasting styles in a way. I mean, what would happen in that one, Joel?
What's interesting is that Alabama, when they struggle with quarterbacks that are very efficient down the field and can threaten you down the field. And that's what Jake Browning has done. I mean, 23 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's, at least at this point in the season, a very clear second position to Lamar Jackson in the Heisman Trophy race. Now, that may or may not come to fruition because, as you know, the voter base for the Heisman Trophy is, one, so biased and two, so lazy that they don't watch West Coast football.
Love that.
We've only had 2 West Coast Heismans that didn't go to USC from Jim Plunkett on, Jim Plunkett and Marcus Mariota. So he might not win the trophy, but he is a very good player. They can run the ball. They can beat you in several different ways, and I think the most important part of their team, which would, I think, at least show up against Alabama, is the fact that their front seven is as good as anybody. They just throttled Stanford, sacked their quarterbacks 8 times. Richmond, I was talking to their defensive coordinator. They blitzed exactly 0 times in that game. They did it with base defense. That's when you know you're dominant.
So give me the team that would give Alabama its best game. Is it Texas A&M this weekend? Is it somebody else not even in the SEC? Who would it be, do you think, right now?
I still think that the team best suited to match up with Alabama is Ohio State because of the style of play that they utilize, the quarterback that they have, and the fact that defensively they're as good as anybody out there. I saw them against Oklahoma. They're so sound. They ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw against Wisconsin on the road at night, top 10 matchup, and they still won the game. So for a young team, that's a big moment for them. I would think that they would be the most difficult matchup for Alabama. I would favor Alabama, but I think Ohio State would be the most difficult matchup.
All right, so let's stop dancing around. How serious do you think Michigan is here, Joel?
I think Michigan is very serious. I really do. At this point, I have them rated above Ohio State because of the way that they handled Wisconsin versus the way Ohio State handled Wisconsin. And I know that I just praised Ohio State for coming away with a win,
right,
which they should be praised. But, Rich, the bottom line is this. Wisconsin was very lucky to even be in the game against Michigan. All the missed field goals, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, Michigan dominated that game up and down, 159 total yards for the Badgers. Meanwhile, I feel like Ohio State was fortunate to be in the game and have a chance late in the game against Wisconsin. So because of that, I flipped them, at least in my poll, and I put Michigan number 2. I don't know if Michigan is best suited to beat Alabama just because of the style of offense that they have. But that being said, Michigan is really good. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they were able to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten and go into the playoffs.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.